Hello, good afternoon. And today I have Lou Stephens. Now I'm going to ask a question.
Go on.
Is it Louise Stephens?
It is and it isn't.
Okay.
So I was named, my mum's from Trinidad.
Okay.
And her grandmother,
Yeah.
my great-grandmother,
Yeah.
was called Louise Fournillier.
Okay.
And so when I set up my Facebook account,
Yeah.
my mum had always said I was named after my great-grandmother.
Right.
So when I did my Facebook account, I didn't want it just be...
That's where I found it. That's
Lou
where I saw it.
Stephens.
That's where I saw it.
Lou Stephens. I was like, it's a bit boring. So my baby sister,
Yeah.
Kimmy, who's like 18 years younger than me, she went, oh, let's put a middle name in. And she put in Fournillier.
Lovely.
And it stuck. And it's a beautiful name.
It is. Yeah.
And yeah, unfortunately, that Facebook account was hacked.
Oh.
And I've had to scrap that account. And now it's just Louise Stephens.
But there's something on social media because that's where I saw it.
Yeah.
So I thought
it is still on now.
I just thought it'd be an icebreaker, you know?
Yeah. No, it's nice. It's
And a belated happy birthday because I believe 26th of May.
It was.
Yeah, you're born the same year as me.
Oh, okay.
Good year, 65.
Well, it's a very
So
good
next year is a special one, isn't it?
It is, not just for me, but like at London Pickleball,
Yeah.
there's about 5 of us that were all born in 65.
Oh, wonderful.
So I think there's going to be a big party next year.
A big pickleball party festival.
Yeah, I think we'll do something special.
Be good.
And because pickleball was invented in 1965 as well, it makes it even more special.
Yeah, so we've got the little history of pickleball
Oh,
there.
there you go. Yeah.
Have you seen that? There's this,
I haven't.
it's actually, I think it's on the Pickleball England website, but it
okay.
charts it and it's been updated. So I think 2022 or 2023 was the first open here and then it's been updated.
Right.
It's a great little journey.
Yeah.
Because I've seen the guy on social media talking about his mum and where the name Pickleball came from. The dog is actually a load of rubbish, we believe. It's about the boat, a pickle boat.
That's a load of rubbish. It's
As well.
dog.
Well, see, they said a pickle boat because a pickle boat is a mixture of things, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then someone said, but then she had a dog and it was called Pickles.
Yeah. So there were 3 people started the game, 3 families.
Right.
They played on one man's court because he had a badminton court in his garden, but there were 3 different families. 2 of the families say it was the dog. 1 family says it was the boat.
You heard it here, 2-1.
Majority rules.
Always.
It's the dog.
It's the dog, Pickles.
It's the dog, Pickles. The ball went rolling off.
Pickles.
The kids were too lazy to get it. They go, pickle, ball, pickle,
Hey.
ball.
And that's
and
it.
that's how it got its name. All this about the pickle boat. 1 family say that, you know, who knows?
Anyway, it's good to have a bit of mystery, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is.
It's really good. So, okay, so you've mentioned London Pickleball, right? So how did that all begin? Is it you? Was it you?
Yep,
Are
absolutely.
you London Pickleball?
Yeah, I am. And London Pickleball is described as a dictatorship.
And why not?
And why not? So originally, back in 2016,
Yeah.
along with Mike Daly and Jane Maguire, who used to own the UK Pickleball shop.
Oh, right, yeah. She the one that sold it to Freddie
and Jack.
Grattan?
Yeah.
Freddie and Jack.
So myself, Jane and Mike met at a introduction to pickleball, shall we call it, run by Leonardo Gonzalez, who was pickleball in Europe.
Right.
Leo, he at the time, so back in 2016, there wasn't a pickleball player in England or Europe that didn't know Leo.
Right.
He was everything pickleball. Great guy, now lives out in the US. Great player, great guy. And he introduced us at this intro session over at Heathrow. And Jane and Mike said, the only place we can play is at Runnymede Royals. And they lived in Croydon.
Right.
So it was like taking them an hour and a half to go and play pickleball.
Yeah.
And they were like, we'd like to start something local. And I was like, oh, where do you live? And they were like, Coulston or Purley or wherever it was. And I was like, okay. I said, where were you thinking of playing? They were like, Carshalton. I was like, oh, it's only down the road from me. I'll have some of that. I said, I'll tell you what, I'll be your first member. Less than a week later, I'm playing pickleball in America at Lake Tahoe. I ruptured my anterior cruciate ligament.
Nasty.
Snap, snap, snap. Meant I couldn't play. So I was on, like, chatting to him, and I said, look, I'm not going to be able to play, but I love this game. I've only played 3 times. I'm addicted. I want there to be something when I get back. So why don't we start this club together? And that's what we did. And we started what was then South London area pickleball, SLAP. So
Slap and tickle.
Anyone who played with us, we actually said slap and pickle.
Slap and pickle, slap and tickle, yeah. So rhyming slam.
Yeah. So we started up SLAP.
Right.
And at the very first session that we started up, we invited Faye Plummer.
Right.
Who then became like...
Cap, innit? Faye's the one with the cap.
Yeah. Then soon became the number one like female player in the country. She had a hangover and she just happened to be on Facebook that morning. I was like, come on, get up. I'll come and pick you up. You're coming. She didn't get a choice. So she came along to this session we put on. Julie Mack.
Yeah.
She came along. So these are people I knew from playing football.
So they're all ex-footballers?
All ex-footballers. Then a few other friends, Debbie Goff, who I knew through friends, and she worked in the Met as well. So we just invited a load of my mates. Another guy who I worked at Wimbledon police station with, Johnny Bickley, a guy called Michael who was a physio who'd been was going to do my prehab before my surgery. We got them all down and we started up. I think we had like 16 people and we started up SLAP. And that was the start of it.
And where were you playing?
Where?
Yeah, was it leisure centre or just in the local leisure centre?
Westcroft Leisure Centre.
Right.
And then we progressed to Tadworth Leisure Centre.
Yeah.
And we went from literally 16 people. Before we knew it, we had like 80 people playing, winning medals left, right and centre. And then we had Carolyn and Guy Laville came along. Okay. While we were at Tadworth. And then Carolyn was like, oh, I think my other boy might like this. Louis, can I bring him along? So Louis came along. And
was that Louis' brother?
Guy Guy played first. He's the younger brother. Very talented player. And then Louis came along and Louis started playing with us and he learnt the game at SLAP. Yeah. And then the middle brother, Elliot, he came along.
Yeah, he's a professional golfer, isn't he?
He is, yeah. He's
they're all bloody good sportsmen, aren't they?
They're all bloody good sportsmen, yeah. But yeah, the whole family. And that's kind of how we ran for quite a long time.
And this was 2016?
That was 2016.
So prior to 2016, Leo introduced you to the sport, or did you know of the sport?
No.
How did you get into the sport?
So some friends in America.
Yeah. You got a connection with America. You go there a lot, don't you?
Yeah, we do go a lot. Got a friend out there, a British girl, Tori Brock. She runs a company called Pickleball Extra, and she makes T-shirts with logos on. And, makes pickleball key rings and all kinds of stuff. Very talented girl. And she phoned and said, oh, you've got to play this game. I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, pickleball, it's brilliant. I was like, no, I've never heard of it. She went, yeah, they play it everywhere. I was like, they don't play it in England. Anyway, I Googled it and they did. And I got in touch with Runnymede Royals and they were like, yeah, come along. We've got the equipment, come along. But then Leo put a big thing out on Facebook about this introduction. Yeah. And I was like, oh, Heathrow, it's easy. I'll go there. I went on I think the first one was on the Tuesday evening. And he said, I'm doing another one on Thursday if you want to come back. I was like, yeah, why not? But I said, a bit risky because I'm going on holiday on Friday. We're going skiing at Lake Tahoe. I said, but I'll come anyway. So I came, loved it, went to Lake Tahoe, Googled pickleball clubs at Lake Tahoe. And
in the US?
In the US.
Yeah.
And I went off and played pickleball in Lake Tahoe while everyone else in the family was skiing. And they all came down the mountain safe and sound and I ruptured my ACL. So at that point, I wished I'd never heard of pickleball.
And you weren't from a racket sports background though, because you were telling me off air.
Off air.
You're ex-footballer?
Yep, ex-woman footballer.
Professional footballer?
Not
semi-pro,
no, not professional.
Or was it not because in those days?
Yeah, back in those days, I started playing in 77. And we were paying to play.
Yeah.
You know, we were buying our own kit. We were, you know, it was a completely different game to it
Now.
to now. But, you know, we got expenses and as we progressed into the like top divisions and whatever, and then playing internationally, I played for Wales and we got...
How many caps did you get for Wales?
I got 3.
Senior caps?
Senior caps, yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Did you win anything?
No.
Did you score any goals?
No.
Which was your... Where did you play?
Centre mid. My first cap was centre mid, and
the general. That makes sense, doesn't it?
terrified I was.
Really? What,
Yeah.
of nerves? Or?
Yeah, I like excitement, I'd say, more than nerves.
Okay.
And I remember thinking, like, this is just too exciting. I can't believe I'm in the team, and played. And it just before half time, went in like crunching tackle, and in those days, like it was studs up and everything.
Yeah.
And I went down, and I was like, I can't get up.
Oh dear.
And the coach is like, what do you mean you can't get up? I was like, my legs don't work. And I think the adrenaline had got me going.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I went down and I was just like, everything completely overcome. And yeah, I did manage to carry on playing. But for that moment, it was just like my body had just stopped.
Yeah.
It was incredible. And I've got a friend who's a sports psychologist. His name's Andy. And
Good lad.
Yeah, Dr. Andy Cale. He worked with the England men's...
Not the Andy Carroll that played in Newcastle and Liverpool.
No.
And suddenly become a doctor, is he?
Yeah, he worked for the FA doing psychology for the England team and whatever. And he used to talk to me about sports psychology. I was like,
not though.
Bibble, babble, rubbish.
It's not though, is it?
And then things like that, when you look back,
it
was all what was going on in my head.
Well, yeah, I had Molly, hasn't come out yet, but I've had Molly here, and Molly's massive into her sports psychology. And there's a great book called, it's all about the chimp, Professor Stephens, it's all about what's going on in mind, the chimp taking over all your stuff. And it is.
Absolutely.
They say in all sports, 95% of it's in the mind, and the rest of the 5% is through the effort and the physical stuff.
Yeah, and it don't matter how much effort you put in and how technical you are and how skilled you are, if your mind is not in it, it's not happening.
No, I know.
And that, how many times the players get to 10-4 up. Can't get over.
Yeah.
And that's this. That's not because they've broken away by 6 points. So they've got it in them, but something just stops it.
Well, I think Molly was saying that suddenly it's the fight or flight thing in your body that, you want to run because there's so much at stake here. Yeah. And it's like, there are techniques of just sort of calming it down and going, it's just a game.
Yeah.
We've done all this really well. How do we get over the line? Just carry on doing what you're doing.
Exactly.
And then hopefully you just get a bit of luck and it goes, and then maybe you do it once and it works. Isn't it?
But it's easier said than done. And it's, But
so when did you retire from football?
I retired in 1999.
The millennium.
Yeah, because I was going travelling.
Oh.
So I decided to take a year out, and I went travelling around Australia. And, brilliant. So I just stopped playing. I was coaching sort of Wimbledon, the youth teams, and doing stuff. And I just decided it was the right time to go off and sort of have some fun and learn some life lessons. It was pretty cool.
You come back from Australia, then what happens?
Back to work.
Yeah.
For the Met. And I went to work in the medical branch for a while. And then sort of said I'd never play sport ever again.
Why?
I think because I'd played at such a high level.
Yeah.
The thought of not being that good at something, like taking on a sport and not being able to achieve the high standards.
You always set yourself high standards? Everything you do?
No.
No?
No, maybe just in sport.
Yeah. You want to be good at it?
Yeah, I think it's more important that you're having fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've got to at least try and be the best you can.
Yeah. Do you know what they say? And I I've heard this a couple of times, and I saw it, and I think I chatted with someone with it about it. And the example was given of this lady who was a runner, and her friend turned up at this event with her, and her friend had trained for weeks and weeks, and her friend was coming to watch, and they said, "Oh, come run with your friend." Oh, okay. And so she ran, and she did this amazing time. They said, "You should be a runner." And as soon as she started training to become a proper runner, she never achieved the time, because they reckon if you do things for fun, you're far more relaxed and you achieve more. Yeah. It's a fine balance, isn't it? And I think you see that in some of these sort of top sports people when they get over a certain age, get over that sort of their peak, and then they're starting to just chill, and they've done it all sort of, but the pressure's off. Yeah, they can have fun, and they don't get het up about things.
Absolutely.
And it's and I think everyone I've spoken to on this podcast about pickleball, that's what they love about it. Yeah. It's the fun, the enjoyment, the sociability, and I haven't come across any real egos.
No.
I mean, there's a few, but
there are a few, but in general, when you think how many people are playing, then no, like, it's negligible. There are so few compared to
other sports.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that is because it's a rare sport where you have such diversity within it that. Like, you turn up, you go to Fleet Aces, or you go to London Pickleball, you go to Runnymede Royals, or you go to Lee Pickleball up north, or, you know, you go to Blind and Gwent, wherever you go, you turn up, there will be an old man, an old woman, a young man, a young woman, a gay man, a gay woman, a black man, a white woman.
A strapped up man and a strapped up woman.
Yeah, exactly.
It's one sport I've learned very quickly. Don't judge anyone by the book cover.
Absolutely.
Because you will come a cropper.
Yeah. And I can, an example of that.
Go on, yeah.
So a few years, this must have been like 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
And there was a tournament out in Medway. And it was called the GB Open. I don't know what it's called, something like that, GB Open. And Elaine Shawcross and Alison Fulton were playing. Now, they're both quite big ladies.
Right.
And they're not young by any means. And people didn't know them because Alison's from Scotland, although lives 50% in America and 50% in Thailand.
Right.
So no one had ever seen her. And she turns up, she's, a little bit overweight and whatever. And then Elaine Shawcross turns up. And again, like in her 60s, everyone's like...
This will be easy.
Piece of cake. Piece of cake.
Piece of vegan cake, yeah.
Piece of vegan cake, yeah. So they wiped the floor with everybody.
Wonderful.
Because... they were so skilled at what they did. They were clever, they were smart, they didn't waste energy running around like lunatics.
Yeah.
They got in the right position. And pickleball, to me, is all about being in the right position. Yeah. It doesn't matter how fast you are, how strong you are. If you're in the right position, people rarely get past you. And these two women did exactly that and ended up with a gold medal. Everyone's like, okay.
Brilliant.
Yeah, don't judge a book by its cover.
Because, so when did Slap become London Pickleball then?
Slap didn't become London Pickleball.
Okay.
No, I came away from Slap.
You fell out with Slap?
Yeah. No, it wasn't even a fallout. There were movements to make it that to be a member of Slap, to play there, you had to be a minimum of 3.0 level.
Okay.
That is 100% contrary to my beliefs about pickleball.
Yeah.
My main focus is on getting people in. To me, pickleball isn't about the people that want to play, it's about the people that need to play. It's about people that need to come for their mental health. It's about people who need to come because...
their physical health.
Their physical health. It's about people who haven't got the best time at home. Yeah. It's about people having the opportunity to do something that they thought they could never do. women coming back into sport who stopped age 14 at school, didn't want to do PE because they felt self-conscious. Yeah. And that was the end of their sport. And then years on, maybe, you know, had kids or had a career or whatever, and are now like, I'd like to do something. Well, here you go. Here's pickleball. You can.
Yeah, and you can still be competitive.
And you can still be competitive. But you can be competitive at the lowest level.
Well, at any level,
you can be 2.0 and be competitive with other 2.0s.
Well, that's the great thing about it. It's the handicap of the sport, isn't it? It's like golf. You can go and play with a professional and, you know, and you've got a handicap and they've got a hand. You can still compete because that's the whole thing.
Absolutely. And that, to me, is the ethos of pickleball.
Yeah.
So when Slap decided, no, it's going to be 3.0
put
and
limits
above,
on it.
I was done.
Yeah.
So, and, you know, a couple of other little things as well. You know, it wasn't just that, but that, to me, so I sent an email to the whole club and I said, look, I'm setting up a new group. I'm not trying to take any of your players away. I'm not trying to take anything away from what you do, but I want to have a group that anyone can come to.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to learn, then they can come to my new group, at which point it didn't have a name. I said it can come to my new group, can learn, and then they can go and play at Slap, and they can go and play at Runnymede Royals. And in fact, the very first session that we did, we had Carolyn Laville there from Wimbledon. We had Sue Harris from Runnymede Royals. We had different people from different groups.
Yeah.
And I, you know, the big speech at the beginning was, listen, everyone can learn to play here and can then go off and go wherever they want to go. That's what it's about.
Getting people through the door.
Absolutely. And that was 2020, just before COVID.
Yeah.
So we had a big lull because we had to stop almost straight away. But we started off with about 12 of us.
And how many now?
We're over 550.
How do you manage 550 people? We struggle.
Badly.
We struggle. It's a hard, keeping everyone happy and having that ethos.
Yeah.
That's the hard thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the way you do it is give people opportunities.
Yes.
We do 9 sessions a week. We do daytime sessions. We do evening sessions. We make sure that there is something for everybody. So we do introduction to pickleball. We do coached play. So, like, it doesn't matter if you're a 2.0 or a 4.5, you get put with a group of your peers on a court, and you'll have a coach on the court with you, helping you.
Helping you.
We do drills, we do different things, but we also give our better players the opportunity to have their own session. And it's not elitist, far from it, because, you know, I wanted to get away from that, saying, oh, you could...
But there's nothing wrong in sport. This is why I used to coach mini football and stuff like that, and grassroots football, and Tesco's did this thing where with the FA about identifying at grassroots level your best players, because not the ones that went to academies, but these your own, because he said there was nothing wrong with identifying those people that have got skills and are good, because you need to give them the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Because we have a habit in this country of dragging the top people down to this so-called line of normal or average and the below average up to normal. And there's nothing wrong with being it. It's how you present it, and it's how you offer that platform for everyone, isn't
absolutely.
it? And if I think if the guidelines are clear and the boundaries are there, then everyone knows what they're letting themselves in for. I mean, that's the thing about pickleball, isn't it? Because you can play with anybody at any level. And I suppose in America, that's what's so great. You turn up on a pickleball court, put your paddle down, and the people will say, and because you can have a duper rating, and you go, well, I'm a 3.5, and the guy says, no thanks, I'm a 2, it'd be too good for me. I can't have a proper game. But that's that. But how you manage 550, and we've got 70-year-old members, and we've got like a 80-member waiting list. But it's locations, and it's probably
and it is difficult because like we're not a club. London Pickleball is not a club, and as long as I'm part of it and running it, it won't ever be a club. There is no committee.
Right. It's just a facility to play pickleball.
We are a group of people that get together and organise pickleball sessions.
Right.
We have a database of those people that want to play,
right.
that we go through, regularly to say, well, they haven't been for 4 months, so let's take them off the database because we've already got too many anyway. But we don't remove them from our list. All we do is sort of push them down, because then if they want to come back, they can jump back in.
Yeah.
But we offer people, so we send out a list to all those people every month, and we say, these are the sessions, these are the times of them, these are what they'll be. And then they can just tick, I'd like to come, please. And then we go, okay, so 2 or 3 days before.
What did you get when you're oversubscribed?
Well, we have to make tough decisions.
Yeah.
But if you don't get in this Tuesday, you will get in next Tuesday. And so it's fair.
Yeah.
And because there's not a committee to have to go through and discuss the ins and outs of every decision you want to make, it's easy, because
that's the great thing about dictatorship, isn't it?
Absolutely. It is. But people don't mind being in a dictatorship if they know the dictator's working on their behalf.
At some point there will be a revolution, you know that, because most dictatorships depends on the masses, isn't it?
It is, but we've had a 4-year dictatorship, and I've got these. I've got some mini dictators.
I think you wear your heart on your sleeve, and I think it's very clear. And I think if people want to come up and have a word, they can have a word.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you'll just tell them how it is.
Yeah.
It's my way or the highway. No, but
it almost is.
But if it works, if it's not, don't break it, isn't it?
So we've run pretty well for 4 years. Yeah. I think we've only had 2 people in those 4 years that we've asked not to come back.
Yeah.
And
you've got a style as well, haven't you, of playing?
Yeah, I think people always say,
well, London Pickleball is about thinking.
It is.
It's about thinking, and we've learned a lot from you guys as well, I think, because we came up and we played that Rally 20, what?
Rally 21.
At your guys.
Lot, yeah.
We'll talk about that in a bit. I think we won as well. I think we won the trophy. But anyway,
you did.
We did.
You did.
But it was obviously quite clear that there's a way of getting to the no volley zone and start thinking. But I've now noticed, obviously, we're getting a lot more as the sport's growing. More tennis people coming into it.
Yeah.
Because I think some of them might be finding that now, there's a lot of problems with their shoulders and their tennis elbows, and they've been introduced to this pickleball sport. But they play it, they try to play it like tennis.
Yeah.
And it has become a little bit more bangy. Well, I call it bangy.
Yeah.
And but that offers a different challenge to you as a pickleball player. But, certainly you guys didn't encourage like driving, hitting it hard and stuff, try and get it up there.
Yeah, we're very much, so we have done and will continue to do introduction to pickleball on a regular basis. And the introduction to pickleball in a 2-hour session, the first hour does not leave the kitchen line.
Yeah.
So it's all about dinking, controlling it, being there, doing what's easy. Because it's a lot easier to get a ball over a net from 7 foot away than it is from 22 foot away. Yeah. There's no doubt about that.
Just start work your way back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we spend most of our time dinking, explaining why you dink, etc. And then we'll start going back and doing a serve, a return, get into the kitchen line. Not at all costs, but the idea is that that's the way we want people from London Pickleball to play. Yeah. We love it when somebody goes off and plays in a tournament, and even without having on a London Pickleball shirt, somebody goes, you play at London, don't you? Because they can tell by the style we play.
Yeah.
Now, does that have its pitfalls? Yeah, it does. Yeah. Because then some of our players who we've literally badgered into playing the soft game then go to a tournament where everyone's banging it and they're like, whoa, this isn't pickleball. Well, no, it is. It's just not the pickleball that you've learned. But to me, learn to play the right way, learn to play what I call the old way.
And then develop.
And then you can develop the skills to deal with that.
Yeah.
Develop the skills to drive the ball.
Yeah.
And, I'm an advocate of the third shot drop.
Yeah.
I believe that the best pickleball is played, using a third shot drop, having a dinking rally, having a game of chess on a court and see who makes the best moves. However, I then go out to the States a couple of times a year, and I play, and I third shot drive almost everything.
Is that because everyone else does and you're sucked into it?
Right. Not because I'm sucked into it, but it's outdoors.
Yeah.
There's winds to,
it's different conditions.
Yeah, different
You're playing
conditions.
the conditions.
So you play the conditions.
Yeah.
So I'll do a third shot drive and a fifth shot drop.
Right.
And then every single time we play in the US, we come off the courts and all we get is, oh, I love your soft game. Oh, I wish I could play the soft game like you do. And that they all really love the soft game, but they don't do it. And they don't do it because no one's actually
coaching it? Or
I don't know. I just think
you look at all the videos, it tells you how to dink and all that stuff.
It tells you how to do it, but we do what's the easiest thing for us to do.
Yeah.
We revert to type.
Yeah.
We revert to what we're good at.
Yeah.
And we do that in stressful situations. We do it when we're losing.
Yeah.
Instead of going, actually, plug away at the way to win, we don't. We start panicking and we do panic lobbing. We do panic banging.
Yeah, we try and play, if the banger's a bang and you start banging and it comes back with interest, doesn't it?
Exactly, and that's what I will say to people. If they're banging at you, all right, if they're banging it and staying back, good, keep pushing them back, them back. But, if you drop them and draw them into the kitchen, then all of a sudden they bang it, it's flying out the back of the court or it's going in the net quicker than you can speak. So, there's...
But do you think the game's evolving a bit now? Because, there's been issues with paddles and the technology and the pop and these Beulah paddles where they've been taken off the market. A big court case going to go on and be sued for 150,000 paddles that have been taken off the market because it's got that, is it the trampoline effect or something? And the games, because you've got more tennis players coming into it, that's what people are looking for.
And I think some people are. And I kind of feel, and I've discussed this with like some of the guys. We've got a really good crew at London Pickleball. You've got like Gillian Collinson, Elaine Brown, Amanda Traylor, who does all the work and I get all the credit. I like that bit. She does all the admin, really keeps on top of everything.
Behind every great leader, there's a team, isn't there?
Well, exactly. And it is.
They don't get the credit.
It is an amazing team. So, we've got Debbie Goff, Suzanne Rouse, we've got Faye Plummer, all part of the coaching setup, all working really hard together. And I've had these conversations with them. The game is changing and we have to change with it.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. It's all us saying, oh, yeah, but we like the soft game. Well, the new people coming in that are coming from tennis, they don't.
Yeah.
They get bored with it. People like 4 dinks, boring. But if you look at the play at the higher level, it's dink, 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 like earn it, you know. Now, I've said to them, the game is going to evolve and I think there'll be people going off. If I want to go and have a game of pickleball the way I like to play it, well, then I'm going to say to Debbie and Gillian and Amanda and Elaine, come on, let's go and get a court.
Yeah.
Because that's what I want to play.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go with these hard hitters who just want to play tennis on a pickleball court because I don't think that's fun. But they do.
No, because there's no rallies, isn't it?
Exactly. But to them, that's what is fun.
Yeah.
And it's everybody's game. It's not, well, I think it should be played this way, so that's what we're going to do. And as much as I encourage people at London to learn to play the right way, that's to then give them a choice.
But with every sport in its infancy, when it starts, the philosophy behind it, whoever set up pickleball or however it started, they created the rules. The whole idea was, isn't it, you have to wait for the second bounce before you can do things because you didn't want it to be a serve and volley. That was the whole point.
Absolutely.
Wimbledon's on at the moment and watching that and you go, great guy, great big serve, run, turn, smash, point gone. Three shots, rally's over.
Yeah. How many times at Wimbledon this year have they volleyed and you've gone, you can't do that?
No,
because in pickleball in your head, you're like, why are they volleying?
Yeah, but there's no, I get that bit. But there's some of it when you watch it, you go, I can see the art and the skill, and I get it all. But you go, not much to watch here, innit? He's going to come and serve, and he's going to smash it down, and you go,
it's all about power.
And then everyone gets excited when there's a rally.
Yeah.
And then you go, oh, there's a rally, and then you go, oh, and he's at the net, and he's going to do a little drop shot, and then everyone, and then you see the difference. And that's what I love about the pickleball. I've learned to stop doing lobs. You know, people say, no, you don't lob. You know, and we've had coaching with Thadio, we've had coaching with Molly, we've had with Rob, and even this week Monday we had Louis. Yeah. And it was what we were saying. With Louis, we started at the kitchen line and we started working our way back. Yeah. And we had some really great games and great stuff we learnt from him. But he's playing at the high level, the slam. Watch that pop-up slam, and you see the way they do it. You might be powerful, but these guys get it back, and
that's the difference. You know, the powerful players, like we've got people at London Pickleball at the 3-0 level, and they are banging and winning. And I'll say to them, that's fine, but when you get onto the 3-5 court, it's not going to work. No. They go, but I win. I go, yeah, you win because you're playing against people that can't deal with your banging. The minute you do, that's all you've practiced. Yeah. So now you don't know what to do anymore. Yeah. Same with people that lob. Yeah. You know, they go, oh, my lob, I win the point. You win the point because you're playing against an 84-year-old who can't get to it.
And you'll get found out eventually.
Exactly. And what you've got to do is practice the shots you're not good at, not the ones you are good at. Exactly. If you've got a perfect lob, well done. Stop. Try and get a perfect third shot. And if you perfect that, try and do a perfect top spin drive.
And you've got everything in your armoury then.
Exactly. But these people that just keep practicing what they're good at get found out.
I mean, that happened on Monday. We were lucky after Louis stayed on for an hour. We always had games and we played with him and against him. And Martin Smith.
What, Martin, director of Pickleball England, Martin?
That's Martin, yeah. Former chairman of Fleet Aces. But
we have to call him Sir now when it comes to London Pickleball.
Got it, Martin.
Yeah, Sir Martin.
So Martin and I were playing against Louis and another, and we had been doing a session where Louis was teaching us about doing the pendulum and trying to get everything back this way, and with the power coming back. And Martin went, and he whacked one right at Louis, and you could see in his mind, I'm admiring this shot. He's never going to get it back. And by the time he'd finished thinking about it, the ball had gone right back past Martin. Him. And Martin just said, I was appreciating. I thought that was a winner. 9 times out of 10 with everybody at this club, if I played that shot, I'm a winner.
It's a winner.
But Louis being professional is expecting it. Yeah. And his paddle's ready. And he even didn't have to do a lot because he knows it's coming. And a little pat and it's come back. Yeah. And that's the thing. And that's what we're learning is that. And Louis says, I never stop until the ball's dead. Yeah. He said, I don't ever think of a winner until the ball is actually dead. That's it. And then I know I've won the point because
absolutely.
They always seem to come back. Yeah. And it was great to watch.
Yeah. But these guys are a different level.
Yeah, of course they are. They're young as well.
They are young as well, yeah. But sadly, at the moment, there's not that many of them.
No, I know.
And there's this huge gap between the 4-5s in the country. Yeah. Of which there are a number, and there are some really good players. And like we've got some at London, we've got some really good 4.5 level players. And you think, they're good. But the jump between them and you've got a group, Louis Leville, Freddie Powell, James Chowdhury, Ben Corson, you've got Pay, you've got Thadia, you've got Molly.
Yeah. All 5s, 4 9s and 5s and 5 bits.
The list kind of ends. Yeah. And then, you might get to win medals when you're playing with them. Yeah. But you don't. And so there's maybe 8 really, really, really good players. Yeah. And then there's quite a drop. Yeah. In my opinion.
I don't think you're wrong. I think it's coming.
I'm not saying these other people aren't good.
But I think that's what's so good about the PPL, isn't it? That's why they set it. That's why Ed and the others set it up, wasn't it? But the idea was they were the only people they were playing, but not very often. Yeah. And they were around the country, so they brought this league together. And obviously the act was successful. And what I commend them all now is that they've got the Challenger League. Yeah. And they've got the Masters, which I think you might be playing in. Which one?
I am.
In the Masters.
I am in the
Team
Masters.
MCMX.
MCMX,
you're starting on this weekend. But, that's been successful and that's bringing more people into it, which is great. Yeah. And I had this conversation again. I felt sorry for James Chowdhury, who's now a 6 in singles. But his trajectory at the moment, I briefly saw James and had a chat, and hopefully he's coming on this week, is, his trajectory while he's over here is that he's reached this level because there's no one else in Europe at his level. He can't get better at a 6. Yeah. But Louis and Freddie and all them who play James, if they do beat him, it chips away at his 6 and it comes down and theirs will creep up.
Yeah.
And he said to me, he said, unless I play internationally, that's the only way he can get better.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly it now. Those players, they're only playing each other at that level. And the problem is they now know each other's games inside out.
Yeah.
And it's hard to not take advantage of what you know about another player.
Of course.
Because that's what you're meant to do.
Yeah.
So they now know each other inside out. They know what they can get away with and what they can't.
Yeah.
Whereas all these other players in America are playing so many more players.
Well, the numbers were they 9? There's some say there's 9 million, some say there's 30 million players in America.
Yeah, I think 35 million played at least once
in the US
in a year.
And they've got 2 professional pickleball leagues, haven't they?
Yeah, PPA and APP.
Yeah, and so you've got that, haven't you? And then you've got that numbers, and we've got 20,000 in the UK.
Yeah,
and but the likes of James, Stadia, Louis, and all that go over to America, and James get spanked, but they also get recognised, and actually they're not bad, and they're learning.
Yeah.
So I suppose that's part of what we've got to do is grow the sport over here somehow and get more involved. And like any sports, I suppose, grassroots has got to be starting at grassroots. I mean, because that underpins everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
There is. I know at the moment we've come into the sport of a slightly later age in life, which is great. And I still have this dream. I am going to win a gold medal at the Open when I'm 100. Right? So
I can see it happening.
You can see it happening if I can last that long.
Yeah.
But the great thing is now, me and my wife, we're going to the Open our first time, and I just want to compete, and that's just going to be fun. And everyone says it's great. There's 2,000 people over the course of a week, and it'll be brilliant fun. But you still got something to think. Oh, I can challenge at this, or I could go and have a Not just going to have a game of golf for fun, but just play something for fun, but compete if you've got a competitive bone in your body. And that's what is great. And part of doing this was to grow the sport, the community of it, and try and get people in and look at how do we do that though, because for me, I think it's, obviously it's exposure of the sport is one thing. You met my 2 lads here. Yeah. They've had a go at it. You want to do it with lads? I don't know. Not sure yet.
Not really want to play with all your 60-year-old mates, Dad?
Exactly. Yeah. Had Lauren on last week, talking to him, and Lauren says, well, competition, younger players want to be competitive. They like competitions. Yeah. And I think you organised, it was possibly you organised Milton Keynes for the under-25s?
Yep.
By the way, when you watch the podcast, I called it the MK Championships, all right?
Okay.
All right. I said,
I'll let you.
He said, "Oh, don't tell Larry," because he's like, but he won it. I think he won it with one of the guys in one.
He did. Him and Anakin.
I think it was. Yeah, they won it.
Him and Anakin.
And he said it was an under-25 tournament. Because obviously, for him that, and perhaps his peers, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds playing with their mates and being competitive. Yeah. Because how often do you want to go and play against an older adult?
Absolutely.
And even though you might beat them, but then if you get beaten by them, that's not good for your street cred, is it?
No, absolutely.
And those are the sort of challenges, I think. And also is venues.
Yeah. I think that is the biggest challenge. I think venues are the biggest challenge to pickleball in this country.
Because we don't have the weather like America.
Yeah. So we can only play indoors, really. To guarantee we're going to play on a Tuesday night, we have to book an indoor venue. To guarantee it.
So this is a lovely link to the Franklin Pickleball Centre.
Franklin Pickleball Club.
Franklin Pickleball Club.
Yeah.
On the other side of Kingston.
Yep.
Has it got planning now?
No, not yet.
When are you hoping to be fully open? And would you want to explain, because those are people like, I was fortunate to be invited to the pop-up slam, which I thought was fantastic. It was really great. But explain the concept, what it's about, for the thousands that watch the podcast. Yeah.
Thousands. Is it not a million yet?
No.
No, okay. All right, so